Welcome back to another edition of the Garage Gym Experiment Podcast. I've got Luke. He is the creator of Synagein, which is a really relevant app to the home gym community. I think there's quite a bit of promise, probably something that has been missing from the space for a while. So I think there's quite a bit of potential. But Luke, thanks for joining. Would you mind just starting us off with a little bit of background on yourself and maybe just dive into, the creation story or what was the original problem you are setting out to solve with this app?
Yeah, absolutely. And Jake, thanks for having me. So background on me. So been doing fitness, I guess, indirectly kind of all my life. I grew up playing a bunch of sports and stuff and kind of went into the lacrosse route. That's what I started in middle school and high school and a little bit of college. And beyond that, did a little rock climbing, did a little knockoff Ninja Warrior stuff, but always lifted. And I even, branched out even from bench press and bicep curls sometime after high school, right? So trying to be a well-rounded athlete.
Mhm.
So my background, really professionally speaking, though, is I'm a military guy. So I was in the Air Force for 13 years, just actually switched over to the Army. And the thing, as you say, the problem I guess I was kind of identifying and then attempting to solve was just the lack of community or the camaraderie. I had at one of my last assignments, real good buddy, two of them actually, a couple of other physician assistants that I work with, and we were really just working out together most every day during lunchtime. We'd go in and just push each other to new maxes and just get you into the gym in the first place for that accountability aspect. So I was about to separate active duty and go into a guard job. One of my other guys, he was going to be separating and going back home. And that was kind of where we just kind of had this idea of like, man, how are we going to work out together anymore? This is coming to a close and it's kind of a sad time. And that's where I just kind of had this idea of, well, hey, maybe there's a way we can kind of work out from a distance, right? And the first thought was kind of a FaceTime or something like that. I've got a decent home gym set up, even though I'm in South Carolina now, but my Oklahoma house looked a lot like this. And I just kind of ran with it. I think I realized that there was something to it early on. I'm like, well, maybe it's an app that actually lets you work out with friends, family members, whatever. Old workout buddies from high school, college, people you were deployed with or stationed with. Maybe you're trying to work out with your dad just to get him active and moving and catch up on life. So that was kind of the idea. Man, it was a long time ago. This was probably end of 2021 and kind of reached out to a few different people about it and didn't get necessarily all the response I was looking for, whether some of those individuals were just too busy at the time or whatever, or just thought, hey, it's a cool idea, but we don't know anything about apps. We don't know anything about technology. So it's been a long time coming. Eventually, how this story progressed was my brother, who was kind of a co-founder with me early on. Now it's me and my cousin, technically, who are the real two doing it right now. We reached out to an old friend who dabbled in some app development world and started putting this idea to paper and then obviously to tech. And then just kind of seeing this thing grow. That was a really long process. We didn't quite get anywhere where we actually had anything tangible. And my brother and I at the time were like, well, we think there's something to this idea. We've seen where it's successful in the endurance sports world, with Strava. Like everybody kind of knows them. I think even lifters know them, even though it's a big running and cycling app. To where, hey, this community aspect, this social fitness app, where you log your workouts, you see what your buddies are doing, you encourage one another, you push each other to new limits. I kind of saw the need there with it to where I didn't see that exactly in the lifting world. And now since after going in all in on this, I have seen there are so many apps out there. There are a bunch that do workout tracking and logging, but I still think we're very unique with what we're trying to do. So initially, it was kind of a place where you could just work out with a friend, and that's done through a video platform. Actually, we have embedded with the app. And then we kind of saw the opportunity for revenue for us was, hey, what about trainers, right? So if we're already removing the barriers, removing the geographical constraints to work out with a buddy, what's to say you can't do that as a trainer as well? So you can be a trainer in California and wake up and train some guys in Miami or New York and California and Texas all in the same day. And we saw that as kind of the opportunity. So it's kind of this almost anybody and everybody can do it kind of an Uber model. But the thing that even kind of makes it more unique from that for the trainer aspect is You set your hours, right? So that's a win. You set your prices, which is really unique too, because after all, maybe you're a 20-year-old guy who just, I don't know, you got a six pack, but you're not officially trained or certified in anything. Okay, maybe you're a $20 an hour, $20 for 30 minutes kind of a guy. But maybe you're Eddie Hall or Brian Shaw or somebody who trained Ryan Reynolds to get in shape for Blade Trinity. Like, yeah, you got some expertise behind you. So maybe you're $500 an hour. Like, who knows? So we kind of have that market open to where the market will set the price and you get the action that, you're meeting. So that's kind of what we've been doing, and it's been a long road. We finally pulled the trigger and hired an official app development company. This was, man, what year are we in now? 25. I think it was. We're about 2 years in now. I want to say it was about March or so of 24, where we finally hired a company out of Toronto, and they've been just doing a great job. They've been designing it for us. We had a couple of hiccups along the way with, hey, it's just not working as well as we want it to work. Whether it's the way your post actually shows up on the platform, or how well the video calls are working. So we brought on another team actually who's been working kind of in tandem with them, a group called Full Send out of California, who's been awesome as well. So that's kind of overview, I guess, of what we've been doing and a little bit behind the app.
Yeah, and if you had to describe the app to someone off the street, what would you say
Yeah.
it
Yeah, you
is?
almost gotta use you almost have to use Strava, right? Because that's
Right.
everyone kinda knows what it is, and it's so similar, but yet so unique to what it is. But if I were to describe it to somebody off the street, I say we're a social fitness app.
Okay.
And what that really means is it is a place where you can log your workouts, track your workouts in progression, and connect with other people. So, Jake, if you and I are friends on the app, I can just kind of log into the app. It's very much social media like. So, it's going to be similar to your Instagram. You just kind of scroll through, you see what your buddies are doing, right? And I can see some photos or videos if you posted any of those, but I can actually go down and I can see your metrics really well. So, hey, I saw you did your bench press at this weight and this reps and this many sets and your tricep extensions or whatever. And I can like it and I can comment on it and whatever, just to kind of get a little bit of that dopamine response of, hey, people are liking it, keep it coming. It keeps you accountable too. Like, it makes me second guess before I hit post on my workout. Like, man, I've been slacking. People are going to see this workout later. I need to do another couple sets. I need to bump up the weights. So that's fun with it. It does keep you accountable to continue just to kind of push yourself a little harder. But like I said, the real reason I created it, it's to connect with people. It's to work out with people I used to be stationed with or deployed with, or used to just be friends with and work out with in college. Guys aren't necessarily great about picking up a phone and just calling and catching up on life. But when you have a video call workout like this, man, hey, how are the kids doing? How's the wife doing? What's new? How's the job? And you're meeting and you're keeping each other accountable in the process and working out together. What we spent a lot of time and money on developing was to create that lifelike experience, right? So I didn't want it to be where, hey, I'm just staring at my phone and I can't even really see what you're doing, right? Because you can do that. Like, I don't want to say you can't do that. There's an array of experience you can get with the app. If you've got a living room and an iPhone, yeah, you can use the app. You can document your workouts. You can still go to Gold's Gym and just document your workouts. That's all completely fine. But this is a lot more like the home gym community, like you said, of this may be a good space for it, because you work out from home. So you probably don't have a bunch of workout buddies necessarily coming over. And if you spend a little bit of money in your setup, which, man, the majority of your followers have, right? They've got awesome setups, they've got awesome equipment, and they probably have a big screen TV in there, right? So, there's my TV over there, with my little shelf where I put my phone. And with the big screen, like I said, we put a lot of money in the video call platform here that we have with it, to where you FaceTime with somebody and you try to mirror it to your TV, it kind of takes up that little mini third of the TV, and then you flip it sideways, hoping it gets bigger, and then it gets even smaller. So what we kind of told the company, or the app development company at the time, was like, no, we want this to be a lifelike experience. I want to be working out, and I want to see a life-size version of Jake working out with me, to where I can actually see him, I can correct his form, I can push him onto, new limits or whatever. And they did a really, really good job with that. So it's a very unique setup that we have, to where you feel like you're in the room working out with a buddy. And maybe even more so than going to the gym. I mean, you go to the gym nowadays, and not to hate on it, because everybody to each his own. But 9 out of 10 people got headphones in. It's not even a real social experience. You go in there, you kind of pump some iron. You may kind of cross shoulders with people, but you're not catching up on life. You're not interacting with people. And that's really what we wanted to aspire to, was get that interaction and build one another up. And that's even kind of what our name symbolizes too. Synagen, which is hard to spell and maybe just as equally hard to say. If you guys end up looking it up in the App Store, it comes from the word synagogue, which, as you guys know, it's a gathering place. That's a religious temple, right? But synagen is to bring together or to gather. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're a community just trying to build each other up, bringing people together and catch up on life. And for me, it's worked really well that way. I've had workouts and interactions with people that I haven't talked to in 5 to 10 years probably, but we do a workout together and catch up, and you hear about each other's kids and lives and where they're living now. So it's been really fun.
Cool. So you had the idea kind of, I think you said late 2021. You've been really at it as far as the app for the last couple of years. Can you talk to me about like the process of building out an app, and then also kind of the timeline of features that have been added, and
Yeah.
what the app looks like today?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, and I'll see what I can actually recall from memory, but yeah, I'll give you kind of the rundown because, like I said before, I'm a physician assistant in the military, right? I've got zero tech background. I'm not tech savvy. So basically what happened early on, we had an old buddy, a buddy from youth group actually, who he works up in New York, I think for the New York Times or something, but he's dabbled in app development. So we went to him, my brother and I, went to him early on, kind of had this idea and said, hey, what do we think? And he was kind of intrigued by it, and really was doing well. I have no idea though. It's always so hard, like being a non-tech guy of, I don't know how many hours are they putting in. I don't see a product yet. I don't see a product yet. Yet there's so much to the back end development and the stack and whatever all these words even mean that I'm starting to kind of learn. And it kind of just came to a point really where, after a while of being in on it, but starting to see that there's some potential here, it's like, hey, I just don't have the time. It's just not there. But I think I had the bug there. I think I saw the potential at that point. And from then, you kind of start seeing who else is in your network of like, do I know anyone else in the tech world or web development or app development? And then finally, it was like, well, hey, let's try just going to the computer and see what we can find. And that's where we found a site called Upwork, right, where you can actually kind of put a project out there and people can kind of bid on it and you interview some people. So Upwork was a huge transition for us. So you put basically, hey, I'm looking to build this app, and different people will just kind of respond to you. And then from there, you can kind of just message back and forth with folks, um, and figure out, okay, what's the price look like? Give me a little idea of your portfolio. What projects have you done in the past? Okay, you've actually done some fitness stuff. You've actually done some social media stuff. You've actually done some video call stuff. Win, 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 right? Because our app is complicated to say the least. Like, there is the financial transaction component with it. So there's a lot of implementation with Stripe. So you got to have folks that are good with Stripe. There's this video call component, which is so complicated because there's 3 different ways you can do video calls on the app. And then there's just this sense of like, how can you make documenting a workout easy, right? Because we've got this saying with Synagen, at least it's more of our goal, is like, the work is done in the gym, not on the phone, right? So what I think companies like Strava and Garmin do so well is, man, you hit start and stop, and next thing you know, that thing's on your app, right? But for weightlifting, as you know, it is so much more difficult. It's not linear. You're changing weights, you're changing exercises, you're changing reps. But it is still our goal and our constant pursuit just to make it easier and easier to document your workout. So that's kind of what we've been doing. But yeah, so eventually, kind of going back to the question, we found a couple of folks that bid on us with Upwork. And then from there, you kind of meet with them. And we had a project manager, girl out of Toronto named Anya, and she's been great. So she helped kind of put this idea to paper and then to the app. And that's where you start learning about beta testing apps and stuff, right? So we do a lot of stuff through our test flight out there. And you spend the first part of the contract, usually with the web developer, doing kind of your UI, UX. So kind of what would the experience look like for a user, a client, and just seeing like, hey, this is what the home screen would look like. This is what your profile would look like. This is what maybe a video call would look like, or completing a challenge or something like that. And if you like how it looks and you see promise there, then you say, yeah, great, let's move forward with it. And you start identifying those specific features hopefully they can give a decent estimate on, hey, this is what we charge per hour. This is how many hours we think it's going to take to build the home screen, to build the frequently asked questions section, to build the challenges section, to build your library and resources. And then as you go, you eventually get that onto, like I said, test flight to where you can start beta testing it. And that was just a super fun process to where, hey, I had this idea a couple years ago, and now I finally have it on my phone and I can log these workouts. I can interact with other people who have the beta test version, till eventually you feel like it's that kind of minimal viable product we talk about to get it to the market. So then you make that push and you apply to get it on your Google Play stores and your Apple App stores, and then it's available for everybody. So for us, we're a little bit unique. It's not really just one app, it's two apps. So similar to what like Uber and Uber Driver would have. So we've got Synagein, which is your main app for anybody and everybody. And then you have the Synagein Trainer app, which is specifically what the trainers would use. A little bit different makeups, mostly the same features across the board. But the Trainer app is to where you can actually upload your appropriate tax forms. You can set your prices and rates. You can set your schedule. You can do your payout methods and all that kind of stuff. Versus the regular app, you get a little bit more of the challenges and resources and everything there too. But both of them have that social component. So
Got it. And what was when did you actually launch? What did it look like when you launched? And has there been any progression since?
yeah, man, it was a wild ride. It was right before Home Gym Con and probably the week of, if I remember right. So, we're driving out to Louisville for Home Gym Con. We're like, we need this thing on the App Store. This is our big first marketing push. And we did get it on. And in fact, we got it on both Google and Apple. And in fact, I don't even know if we had it on Google at that time. But we had Apple. And then it was kind of this thought of, hey, Home Gym Con, this is going to be where we really interact with a bunch of people. But it was a real good learning experience. Home Gym Con is awesome. Definitely love it. But it is tough to stand out with so many awesome setups and booths and vendors. And you kind of quickly realize how it works from, I guess, both sides of the table, to where when there's 120, 160 vendors or whatever it is you guys end up having, like, it is so easy just to go to the next shiny thing, right? And people are walking by and you got to get somebody's eye and attention in 3 seconds and get the point across of what you do. And I don't think we necessarily did that real well. We had a couple TVs up of like, hey, people working out together and whatnot, but I'm sure half the people thought we were TV salesmen versus t-shirt salesmen or whatever. But yeah, that was kind of the first marketing push that we had. We had another marketing group that we kind of took on that reached out to us. Less than desirable experience there. Unfortunately, it's just, very vague deliverables. A lot of the work kind of falls back on you, and it just seems like they want to get you signed up, for a monthly retainer essentially or whatnot.
Yeah.
But we did hit the brakes a bit early on with that. So we got a handful to sign up, maybe just 50 folks or something like that, to use the app and continue to test it for us. But we felt like the things that we really wanted to get right before we made our official marketing push, we got to make sure the paid features are happening well, right? So any kind of video call stuff that people are doing with a trainer, we got to make sure Stripe is doing everything it needs to do to where the trainers are getting their cut, we're getting our cut, all the money's flowing in the right direction. And that's where we feel like we've finally done that, to where we're happy with the product. We're never really content. We're always trying to make it better and better, but we're happy with the product. And right now on the platform, I think we got about 180 people or something. So not a lot, but we did take on a new marketing company, and got another marketing intern or two we're trying to kind of hire right now as well, to where we're like, hey, let's do this thing. Let's move forward. We believe in it. We think the payment stuff's working. We think the video calls are working. You can definitely track and log your workouts. You can follow your friends. You can see what they're doing. That's all working really well.
Got it. So if I'm listening to this podcast, I'm a regular just home gym owner. If I sign up for the app, what do I get?
Yeah, perfect. So we're a freemium model, right? So it costs nothing. And really, I want to spend a lot of emphasis on this, Jake, because so many of us, I feel like, have just been done dirty by companies, supplements, apps, whatever, right? And you're like, dude, the thing said it was free. They said it was a 30-day money-back guarantee. And then there's the fine print of like, what in the world? I can't even get out of this contract right now. It's signing me up automatically for more. I want to be real clear about what we can do for clients and how we have about as little commitment as we can for everyone's sake here, right? So we're a premium model. So what we mean by that is it is a free download for the regular app and for the trainer app. And with that, you can go on, you can follow friends. So I can follow you, Jake. I can follow my wife and my brothers and all the guys I used to work out with, and I can see what they do. That social media style. I can post my workouts, which is good for me because I've never been great with pen and paper to where like, man, am I on a shoulder day today or a leg day or a back day? And by the way, last time I did it, what numbers was I doing? How much weight should I be doing today? This is really good for me because now I just kind of go to my profile. I scroll back about 4 things because I usually have a chest day, I got a leg day, I got a shoulder day, a back day, and I just rinse and repeat, right? So if too much time's passed, I've been busy traveling or something like that. Like, what day am I on? Okay, I'm on, like today I was on leg day, and how much weight should I be lifting? Got it. I can quickly reference that. So you can log and track and post your workouts, see what your buddies are doing. We've got what we call Synagein challenges, which you can kind of go through, and it's going to be more performance-based things like, hey, I benched 135, I benched 185, I benched 225, stuff like that. I ran a mile under 8 minutes, things that you can just start checking off the list and almost get that kind of video game feel of like, hey, I'm leveling up. Look at all these, challenges I'm knocking out. And then we also have some monthly challenges. So about 5 to 7 challenges every month I just try to put out. And that's usually a little bit more effort-based stuff. So, hey, did you do a video call workout with a family member this month? Did you walk 8,000 steps a day? Did you drink a gallon of water a day? Stuff like that. Kind of more effort-based, not necessarily you've got to be super great shape to do it. And there's a small section that has some library resources where you can kind of find some previous workouts for inspiration in case you just don't really know what you're doing. So stuff in there for, hey, I've got access to a full commercial gym, or I've got access to dumbbells, or I've got access to nothing. Some diet stuff in there with a little bit of macros and recipes. Some of the features we've got now just on the app itself that are kind of cool is if I'm reviewing your post, I can like your post, I can comment on your post. And now to make that process of logging workouts easier, we came up with something we refer to as a re-rack. And what that is basically like, once again, trying to make it easier to post. Jake did an awesome workout yesterday. I want to do that workout today. I hit basically re-rack from your post and it pulls all that info to mine. And then I can just quickly edit the reps, edit the weights or whatever. So all of that stuff has been free completely. The premium feature, which is $9 a month, or it's $84 for the year, depending on how you sign up for it. That's what actually gets you access to the video calls. And that's going to be what we kind of call peer-to-peer video calls. So Jake, if you and I are friends on there and I follow you and you follow me, we can do video calls to where it's like a FaceTime and we can just schedule like, hey, Tuesday mornings I work out with Jake. Wednesday afternoons I work out with my brother. Thursdays I work out with my dad, whatever. All that's just that peer-to-peer premium package there. And that's all we have for now. Really, we didn't even want that early on. We tried a couple of video call platforms that were free at the time, and it was just the call connectivity wasn't there or whatever. So we had to get this one platform now embedded into the system that unfortunately costs us money. So with that, I'm running the numbers on it. I'm like, all right, what if it's still free? And looking at the numbers there, it's like, all right, it's like $1.50 for, what was it, 1,000 minutes? It's like, well, that doesn't sound like a lot, but what if we have 1 million users and they do 30-minute sessions 10 times a month? And you're like, oh my gosh, that just cost me 450 grand. Now I got to fake my own death and, whatever. So like, we got to make this feature cost money. And we tried to basically do it as little as we can. And that's where we kind of came across the 9 to where hopefully it's not too much for the clients. But we're still for sure covering our costs and everything with that. To address one thing we haven't really brought up yet, but I think a lot of people would be asking themselves, Jake, would be like, why would I even do that? Why wouldn't I just FaceTime somebody, right? And we kind of talked about, well, we get this big screen mirror thing, right? And that is 100% true. So you mirror to the TV really well. So it's a really awesome kind of in-person-like experience. One thing I wanted to do early on was kind of a safety feature. So like our SOS feature, to where if you're doing a video call with somebody, there's this big red button in the bottom corner that says SOS, to where working out's inherently dangerous, right? So it's a matter of time till somebody hurts themselves on a treadmill or drops a barbell on them or whatever. And I don't necessarily know where you live or whatever, but I can at least hold that SOS button down and it'll send a notification to your emergency contact as long as they have the app too. So maybe your wife or something like that. So she can come out to the garage and check on you and pull some weight off you. So that was one thing we were really intentional about of let's keep this thing safe. So that's one of the perks to the FaceTime thing. Another, we cross platforms, right? So we can do Android and iOS. So that's a really good feature. And then I would say, kind of going back to the mirroring thing, like it is an awesome experience when you can actually see somebody on a 50-inch TV and you're seeing that form and you're giving that feedback. From the trainer's side of things, there's a lot of reasons why I think they would go with us. Like I in fact can't really think of much downside to being a trainer on our platform because, like I said, you don't even necessarily need certifications for it. You set your own hours. There's no geographical limitation at all for you, and you set your price. So, hey, I want to be $100 an hour. Cool, go for it. And by the way, this isn't Anytime Fitness and Gold's Gym and all that stuff, like the big ones where they're taking 40, 50, 60% of the cut. Synagen takes 15%. So you're setting your price as a trainer and you're walking away with 85%. You keep a little bit of anonymity, maybe. Maybe you're just not even putting your last name on there. You don't have to give your clients your phone number and where you live and all that. All the booking is through the app. All the payment transactions are through the app. And when I was talking about earlier how I want to be transparent of what little commitments we have for people, you don't have to have a premium account to hire a trainer, right? So you can be paying zero already, and you just want to say like, well, I've never hired a trainer before because frankly, I'm embarrassed or I don't want to be drug around a gym and look like the new guy who doesn't know what he's doing. I don't want people laughing at me, whatever. Or frankly, I don't want to sign up for 10 sessions. I don't want to go to the gym and sign up for 10 sessions where I've never actually done it before and now I'm on the hook for $500 here. You can just find a person, you scroll through, you basically find, hey, I want a guy, I want a girl, I want this certification or that certification, I want this price or I want this area expertise, and you pick them. And you have them for that training session. It's one training session you're booking at a time. And the thing where we really have a lot of pride in what we're doing here is we prorate the thing. So, Jake, if you hire one of our trainers, and this keeps everybody accountable, right? It may not be the best thing for our trainers, but for the clients, we're really client focused on it. So we're like, if they weren't ready, maybe your internet's bad, maybe they're being rude to you, they weren't prepared or whatever, you can end that session whenever you want and you're going to pay a prorated price for it. So, maybe you booked somebody for a 25-minute session for $50, but you're like, no, not happening. They weren't prepared. They're not paying me attention. I'm going to end up paying $4 or something like that here. It's really little commitment. But we hope you have a great experience with them and then you hire them on for more. And then you can just try people from different disciplines. So we'll have people on there that are Pilates instructors or yoga instructors or strongman stuff or CrossFit or whatever, strength and conditioning coaches, any area that you kind of want to dabble in.
Cool. Yeah, makes sense. And there are definitely things when you're like starting up a business and you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And I remember you mentioned to me, we did a call a month or so ago, and you mentioned the costs of streaming. I was like, ooh, that's a tough one
Yeah.
to battle. So like membership price makes total sense to me. Can you tell me about the feed? So I think like your standard home gym owner, that would be the number one thing I think would be like an easy sign up, and you can sign up, you have access to the feed, you have access to post onto the feed. What can you do on the feed? Do trainers have the ability to like post their own content and eventually get more followers? Can you just
Yeah.
explain to me what the feed looks like today?
Yeah, absolutely. So the feed is there, and like I said, it's very Instagram like, really, to
Hmm.
where if I go on, first off, when you download the app, everybody's going to follow me. So I guess I'm kind of like old school Tom on Facebook or something,
Yeah.
right? And that was one of the things we added on because my experience is when you download an app, it can be overwhelming, and when you just the whole thing's blank. You're like, I don't even know what this is. I don't know how to get started. I don't know what it should look like or could look like. So everybody automatically follows me on there. So you're going to see a lot of Luke Russell, and you can unfollow me if you want to. But its job is to show you kind of what options, what it looks like to complete a challenge, and just to highlight features that are there that maybe you wouldn't have stumbled across otherwise. And you're going to see, hey, Luke did legs today. You can click see details. You're going to see a little video of, me doing some squats or something today. And you're going to see details of what my run time was and how far I went and everything today. You're going to see what weights I did on squats and how many reps. And I've got some stuff I got to do later. So that's what the feed looks like. You're going to scroll through everybody you follow and you're just going to see who does what. Every sixth post on there right now is also an advertiser. And actually, a little shout out to some of those guys. We're not charging for any of the advertisement stuff right now because, frankly, we don't have enough users yet to where it makes sense for anybody to pay to advertise on our platform. But people like Rory Ellis for Roar Man Strength, or even weighted out plate stuff, or some others we've got on there every six posts just to show, hey, this is a place where
Yeah.
you're hitting 100% target, right? Because everybody on Synagen is interested in workout equipment, workout apparel, workout supplements, or whatever, right? So we've got that. But yeah, you'll scroll through and you'll see all the workouts. You can like it, you can comment on it, you can re-rack it. For you yourself, you can obviously post a workout. And with the post, you can add photos, you can add videos. You'll track your numbers. You can even now too, what we have is drafts. So that way, if you're like, oh, I'm not done with my workout, or I'm worried it's not saving, you can save the thing as a draft, and you can actually save like up to 7 of them right now, to where it's kind of our way of meal prepping, right? To where I can write out my workouts ahead of time and save them as drafts, and then I can go back and actually post the thing when I've completed it too. So that's kind of what it really looks like mostly. And that's true from a client standpoint or a trainer. They both do that same posting of workouts and tracking and following friends and everything the exact same way. I kind of mentioned some of the challenge stuff you can do just for a little bit of inspiration or to keep you accountable on there, to just try to knock out some challenges. And then the big thing would be the video call platform that we had as well there.
Yeah, yeah. And then I just took a look at the app, and one thing that's cool is you don't net the you don't necessarily have to just post the workout. You can post a video of you doing something. So maybe you have like a one rep PR that you want to
Yeah.
post, or I think it'd be cool if a home gym owner post. I don't know if this fits in your vibe, but if a home gym owner posts, a setup they have in their home gym, like, hey, what do you guys think of this? And a lot of those things, I think, for like the average person, we see a lot of home gym content on like Instagram and Facebook, but I don't think most people want to, show a lifting video that will ultimately go to, people you went to high school with, or like
Yeah.
your grandma. You
Really.
don't necessarily want them to see everything. So I do see a value in people like me. I don't really want to do that either. Posting it here to a select group of your Synagen followers or whoever is on the app. So I think there's a lot of potential there to help form a community around, just like, I was here. I did this today. Check out this. This might help you guys. So I think once you get more people, there is definitely that sort of potential as well. Or I have like, I don't hundreds of buddies within the home gym space, and a lot of them send me a lot of their videos. Hey, look at this setup. This is what I did today. And I know they're sending them to multiple people. They're sending 8 different messages to their friends. Like, did you see? Check this out. So I think, an app focused on this space, not necessarily sending it out to your grandma,
Yeah. Well, you're
or
right.
just like,
You hit on something I think big there, because I think all of us have seen the workout posts on Instagram and whatever, and it's like, oh, look at this guy full of himself trying to show off how much he lifts. It doesn't seem like the space for it, probably, like with your regular social media. But when you have something like Synagen where it's like, no, we're all in it together. Yeah, there may be like some cockiness to it that you'll probably see with some people, but no, really, this is just the forum to where like people appreciate good lift and they appreciate good work ethic and everything. Get a little inspiration for what are people doing out there? Like, man, how do I look like Jake? What's he doing for his workouts? Like, you can see that on there, right? Like, I may not know your diet inside and out, but I can kind of see like, hey, this is kind of what he's doing. Dude, those are some pretty awesome numbers. It's pretty unique style, how much, volume he's doing versus running versus whatever. And then seeing people setups fun. Like, I've had people message me through the app already, like, oh, I see you got what is it, the hyper freak athlete or whatever that is. How do you like it? And I'm like, well, it was a little complicated to set up and it was a little weird to get used to, but now I love the thing. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, it's a cool setup and you're just kind of seeing what people have, right? It's inspiring is what it is. So
yeah. So what's next for the app? What are your next goals? What are the next
yeah.
features? Anything you have in mind?
Yeah, well, hopefully I don't go belly up financially first because this thing has been expensive anyway, right?
Yeah, I bet.
But so big marketing push for us really right now, which is even kind of part of the podcast when I reached out to you, like, hey, I think we're content with where the product is. We're reaching out to some marketing firms to kind of help get some pushes out there with Meta ads and Google ads and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see how we take. So hopefully we start getting a little positive feedback to where it's like, hey, this is a really cool platform. Like our goal is to get you something really good for free. And for a price, you get an excellent product, right? That's kind of our goal here, that we always have a really good free option. Here's the baseline. My anticipation is 95% of the users will never pay a dime. And I am completely good with that. I want to give a product out there people just like. You know what I mean? And if we can eventually make money off of it, fantastic, right? It's a win-win. But we'll hopefully start to gain some traction to where hopefully we start to offset a little bit of our costs with app development and marketing and all that. And then all of a sudden it's what new features can we do? So we're always interested in how can we make it easier to document the workout. So that's where we've kind of talked about stuff like the re-rack feature. So even for instance, like if I'm your trainer, Jake, and if I'm trying to exercise really good customer service, I'm going to probably just do a peer-to-peer video call with you ahead of time. So whether I scheduled it or just do a spontaneous, just to, hey, show me around your gym real quick. Let me see what you have. Let me get a sense of who you are. Where are you at on your fitness journey? What injuries do you have or limitations do you have? Okay, good. I'm going to put something together for tomorrow when we have our workout scheduled, and let's do that workout so we can hit the ground running. Because there is a little bit of tech constraint with it, right? It's not super easy for people to get on a video call, to mirror to a TV, to make sure their earbuds are connected right and all that. So we want to make sure people have a little bit of opportunity to get that stuff done. So when it's time to work out, they can really work out. And then after we're done with the workout, I would probably say, hey, Jake, great workout today. I tell you what, I'm going to document what your workout was today on my profile. I'll write out how many reps of bench you did and squats you did and deadlifts and whatever with all the weights. And all you have to do is just go into my profile and re-rack it, and it's going to post right to yours, right? So it really makes it easy for you. And I would
Re-rack it. I
probably
like
say
that.
as a trainer as well, I'd say like, hey, I know there's zero commitment with this stuff, but if you liked how it went today, let me know. No pressure. You don't have to decide right now. If you want to book me again for next week or something like that, I'll go ahead and I'll write some programs for you here in the meantime too, right? So you can follow along for the next 3 days this week or something along these programs. We'll meet up again next Tuesday and do another session, see how you like it, right? And that's where I feel like we are unique. Like if I've got to highlight how we're different, like we said, from all those other apps out there for working out, it's like, well, we got the video call feature because we all know big fitness companies out there where you kind of follow along with them, but man, they don't see what you're doing. Like, and there's so many, and I'm not like bad mouthing. They're great, successful companies. Your P90Xs, your Pelotons, your whatever. But what we really pride ourselves, we say be seen with Synagen, right? So if I'm using weight that's inappropriate for me, my trainer's going to spot that immediately before injuries happen. If they see me dogging it, they're going to give me hopefully that motivation to pick it up and work a little bit harder. So you are seen and you have that interaction. It's not some chat GPT cookie cutter, hey, sign up for 2 months with me and I'm going to write programming for you that really I'm just, Jake's going to get the same product as Tom and David and whoever, really, right? Like I have your attention, you have my attention for the next 25 minutes, 55 minutes, hour 25, whatever session you decide to book. And we're going to do that. And then I think the other thing where we really separate ourselves from others too is like we let you not only just interact with trainers, but you're going to work out with your buddies, right? So you're going to catch up and push each other with old friends, family members, whatever. Our parents are getting older. We want to make sure they're staying active. Man, I'll do a workout with my mom on here. My mom's one of my biggest users right now. Like, she's documenting her bike rides around the neighborhood and stuff. And that's what we want to do. You follow who you want to follow, but you just deadlifted 500 pounds. We're going to celebrate that. You went out and you walked the neighborhood. We're going to celebrate that, right? We let all those people kind of come together and use the platform the way they want to use the platform. Where we're going in the future, always pouring money back into the app itself with features, making it easier to log workouts. I would love to have it to where a premium user gets more than just video calls with friends, but maybe like, hey, every Tuesday night you're doing kettlebells only live streamed with Joe Howard,
That's
or you're doing TRX in the morning on Wednesday mornings with Whitney Richens, to where like, hey, that one's not going to be necessarily that two-way interaction as much, but I can at least go on and do workouts with other people too. So that's a big thing that we're looking at doing. I don't know, man. We've got a Excel sheet with probably 40 different features of like just making things easier, cool new ads, stuff like that.
Got it. Well, I would love for anybody listening, throw into the comments what would the number one features you'd be looking for in
Yeah.
something like that. Um, for me, you touched on it. I think like a being able to log in to like a 5 a.m. workout club would be a really good way to be accountable for, working out at 5 a.m. That's a
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
say you have a goal to work out at 5 a.m. and it'd be a lot easier and you'd feel a lot more held accountable if you signed up for it and you had to go every day. I also, you mentioned Strava. I love Strava. It's definitely I have like two friends on
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
just those two friends helped me like in the middle of my run think, "Oh, someone's going to see this. I should finish strong."
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
like that definitely help. So I would say, and then there's a lot of people using like Juggernaut AI app, for
Mhm.
example. So they
Yep.
use the app, and I think some way to connect those, play nice with other apps that are already doing it would be a cool feature too. Like
Yeah.
I might not want to, maybe I'm just shy, but I might not want to like post my Strava results to um my Instagram feed, but Synagen would be a place that I would want to easily do that. Or if I just got done with a Juggernaut AI workout, being able to post that easily without maybe writing it all out, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
out
that
loud.
integration like you're talking about, that's definitely on our horizon to where it's like, "Hey, can we pull stuff from Garmin and Strava into the app to where it seamlessly goes?" Not super easy. Everything's got a
Right.
price tag. Most everything's possible, but, yeah, we'll be moving in that direction too. Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah, people can take screenshots, I guess, for now.
Yep.
But anything else we should cover before we close this?
Man, let me see. Yeah, I think we kinda got into the why. I think we hit most of the features. Um Yeah, I think we kinda talked about why FaceTime versus, why Synagen, as opposed to FaceTime, especially when Synagen's costing $9 a month or whatever. But yeah, what we want as far as for the clients to remove all those barriers like we talked about from, "Hey, why have you never hired a trainer before?" Like, our goal is to make it, more affordable for the client. It's to make it more lucrative for the trainer. Like, that's the goal with it. Because like I said before, with the big name gyms out there that take 50, 60% of the cut, like, the client's paying a lot of money. The trainer's not even necessarily getting that much. So with us, hopefully we can get it to where the client is paying less and they're doing it from their own home where they're not feeling judged. Maybe they got a real embarrassing, workout with somebody. Man, they can next that trainer and never see that guy again. It's not like, going back to the gym and seeing everybody. And the trainer's going to get his 85% of the cut, which hopefully bumps him up more than he would have been making at the gym. The geographical barrier is gone, so you're not limited to Chapin, South Carolina, and I can only train people here. Like, train people all over, all over. And hopefully you can continue to grow. And we're going to really try to fine tune that. We have probably, I don't know, 5 to 7 trainers on our platform right now. Everything from Pilates to a couple of certified personal fitness trainers to a couple of strength and conditioning coaches. But hopefully we have every platform on there, whether it's strongman or CrossFit or whatever. Hopefully they see the space, and then we'll try to um, orchestrate that dilemma of supply and demand as much as we can because we want to be good to our trainers, right? We don't want them to log in and be like, "Oh my gosh, there's a million trainers on here. Why would anybody pick me?" It's like, no, no, no. We'll let these trainers we have on here right now get the business and the money and everything they're trying to get. And when we realize that there's more of a demand for it, we'll open it up to more trainers and more trainers and more trainers to where really it's just everybody's happy and the market starts figuring out what the price of that training session is going to be. So,
Cool. Cool. So I guess I would like to just throw a shout out to all of the listeners, go download the app, support Luke, give him some feedback,
yeah,
put a few posts out. I think anybody who's started a startup knows any sort of engagement at the beginning is greatly appreciated. And I do think there's quite a bit of potential for this home gym community. Also, if you're a company, looks like there's free ads right now, but if you think this can help the community, feel free to reach out to Luke to support. um, but other than that, tell people where to find the app. I'll make sure to plug it into the show notes so people can easily check it out.
Yeah, perfect. So you can go to our website, which is just Synagein.com. So Synagein. Or you can just find us in the Apple App Store. So, like I said, there's Synagen and there's Synagen Trainer. So, if you want to just be a regular client, go to the Synagen one. If you want to be a trainer, download the trainer one and then shoot us an email, and we'll go ahead and get you hooked up as a trainer as well. But yeah, Google Play Store and Apple App Store, and that should get you covered.
Sounds good. Well,
Yeah.
appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Good luck continuing to build out this app, and maybe in a year or so we can do a follow up to talk about the new features.
Yeah, you got it. Sounds good. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks, man.